All right, people, let me start this video with a warning. Actually, more like a disclaimer that whatever you're about to watch and hear in this video, I am neither encouraging this nor I'm endorsing this. But as one of the greatest thinkers of our time, I'm joking, just as a commentator, just as an observer, someone who is watching the decline of Western civilization, someone who gives his opinions, and I feel so lucky that some of you want to listen to what I have to say. I'm just doing my job. So I am just reporting on this new phenomenon that is being observed across social media. There is this movie that is going viral. I haven't watched this video, and Germany has banned this movie. Now, I understand this is not a mainstream Hollywood production, but a lot of clips from this movie are going absolutely viral on social media. Look, we can't control the way people think, okay? So instead of telling people not to think about something, we need to try to understand why this is happening. So let me give you a little bit of information about this movie. So this movie is called Citizen Vigilante. It's just been released. It's been, as I said, it's been banned in Germany, where it covers a story of this American businessman who is living somewhere in Europe, probably in Croatia or maybe in Germany, I don't know, where he goes to people of migrant background who have committed all kinds of horrible crimes against the native Europeans, and he just starts killing them, basically starts giving them vigilante justice. So some of the, obviously I can't play you those videos because I might get a copyright strike, or I might not, or maybe even YouTube might not like it. So I'm just gonna actually play these videos side by side. So for example, here in this movie scene, this guy is named Yusuf. He goes to his house, who's just been exonerated or let go by our woke judges, where this American businessman goes to his house. He questions them. He's like, oh, why did you that poor European girl? And his mother, his father, and his sister are also sitting next to him, and they actually try to justify his actions. And the father also justifies. So then he turns around and then he asks this, yeah, there you go. He's asking the sister, what do you mean by that? And then she says, oh, well, she deserved him. And then he asks the father, are these the values that you're teaching them? And then he says, yeah, well, these are my Islamic values. So, you know, I'm raising my kids as per Islamic values. So he asked them, why did you come here? And then, you know, the age-old excuse they always give, which is like, hey, you're bombing our country. That's why we're here. Well, he says, I don't think so. I think he still made a very politically correct statement. He said, I think the bad ones made it out of the Middle East and the good ones got stuck. I wouldn't even have made that distinction, because I know this is the mainstream view of Muslim society. So anyway, so as you see, other people come in and then he shoots them, and then he starts shooting them one by one, and all of them are dead. He shows no mercy to any of these people. Okay, now, as I said, I'm not endorsing this behavior, but I don't understand why everyone is so upset about this. I just don't understand why everyone is so upset about this, because how many movies we have seen, mainstream Hollywood movies we have seen, where you know, the lead character goes around and starts delivering vigilante justice. Spider-Man, you know, that's vigilante justice. I remember that movie of Hugh Jackman and the kidnapper of his daughter, and then he tortures him for weeks and then he kills them. There was another Kevin Bacon movie, my favorite one. I'm forgetting the name of that movie. I think it was called Street Justice or something, or Swift Justice. I don't know. So Kevin Bacon, his son is murdered by gang members, and he just goes through them one by one. He's just a normal father, and then he just kills them all one by one. We celebrated that, yeah? But now, when it is covering a more uneasy topic where a vigilante hero is going after people from other backgrounds, then all of a sudden, these critics are worried about this. They're saying, oh, this is spreading hatred and whatever. Again, look, as I said, I'm not saying that you should be delivering this kind of justice yourself. I'm not endorsing this behavior. But instead of just shutting people down, you know, have a look. Why are you worried? Because, you know why? Because they are worried that something like this might actually happen. Because at some point, people are going to say, what the hell is going on? Because we have seen time and time again, our woke judges are letting go of these horrific criminals from other migrant backgrounds who are bringing in their own set of archaic values, and they're imposing them on the rest of us who've got nothing to do with this. Most people did not sign up for this. Most people actually were sold this idea that, look, America is dropping bombs on their countries, and there's civil war in Africa. These people are nice people. These people are just like you. Look, maybe they are. But what they didn't tell us is that they're going to bring in their own set of values, which are not compatible with Western values, and they're going to, impose their values. And we have seen it's not just the men who are doing these things. Okay, their family members are covering them. Look at let me show you this. Even people who are born and raised in the West, even they cover for them. This is the father of a Pakistani gang rapist, and listen to him. This is why what that scene in the Citizen Vigilante movie, that's so true. Their family members justify their actions. We have seen mothers defending their sons. This father is going to defend the actions of his rapist son. Listen to him.
And obviously she wasn't a virgin or new to sex.
He's talking about a 12-year-old girl who was raped by his son.
So you don't see it as rape?
Well, I don't.
And she's 13. She's 13 years old.
Well, yes, obviously.
He's not, that little awkward silence, that's not because he's thinking he's revisiting his moral values. No. He's thinking, ooh, I know what I'm about to tell them is going to be uneasy for Western ears to absorb. Therefore, I have to package it in a way that it doesn't look as batshit crazy as it is. That's what he's thinking. He's not thinking, ooh, yeah, maybe she's got a good point. A 13-year-old child is a child. No, they don't see 13-year-old girls as children. They don't. Aisha was 6 when Muhammad married, and he banged her when she was 9. And you have plenty of other Muslim scholars who will tell you that is perfect. Actually, you know what? Did you guys know? Most of you probably didn't know this, because I also discovered this much later. The most prevalent view, and Muhammad Hijab has confirmed it, and so many other Muslim scholars have confirmed it, the age of consent does not begin when a girl reaches the age of puberty. It begins from the point where parents can determine that she can withstand intercourse. That's when it begins. So it could be even 6, 7, 8. Puberty is not the condition. So anyway, here you go. So he's thinking, you know what, that's perfectly fine. Like she was a hoe. Rupert Lowe's inquiry. I only read one girl's testimony. I think her name was Chloe, the first one. I could not go past it. I just couldn't go past it. It is a horror story. I remember watching a movie called Straw Dogs. It's based on somewhere in Midwest America or something, where a city girl goes back to her hometown, where she runs into her goons who grew up with her, and they gang rape her. And I remember watching the movie and I'm like, oh, your life would be over if something like this happened. Like, it's so horrific. And it was captured so beautifully, cinematically, because those of you who don't know, I'm actually a bit of I studied art. I studied filmmaking and acting back in my younger years. So I have a knack for these things, and I appreciate good art. I appreciate good acting. So I remember finding that movie Straw Dogs very disturbing. But then I was thinking, when I was listening to Osmond Gold reading out the testimony of that girl, Chloe, from the Rape Gang Inquiry report, I was thinking, oh my God, imagine if only Chloe's story was actually turned into a movie. It would be the most horrifying movie you would have ever watched. Most horrifying movie, time and time again. And she gets sucked into it. Some people might blame her, which is, again, you got to remember the point that she was only 11 when that happened to her. And then it keeps on going until she's too old for these PDF files. And that's when they let her go, when she turns 19 or 20, because now she's too old. She doesn't do it for them. And throughout this time, she becomes anorexic. She gets substance abuse. She contracts all kinds of horrible STIs. So horrible. So all of that has been going on for so long, guys. All of that has been going on for so long. And then this movie comes out, Citizen Vigilante, and the German government bans it. because they fear that something like this might happen. There will be a day of reckoning. Again, let me say that I am not endorsing that behavior, but I am an observer. I am watching things change, evolve, or devolve, however you want to see it, in real time, which is why I'm commenting. But let's finish this video. This father.
I don't.
And she's 13. She's 13 years old.
Well, yes, obviously, that's some responsibility lies for it.
Son.
But as far as grooming is concerned, I think that the judge has gone over the board, the jury's gone over the board, the police has gone over the board, just because these lads were Asian.
These lads were Asian. You see that even though the British authorities were complicit in covering up for their crimes, even then, look at the view from the other side. They're saying, racism. They should have just walked away scot-free. A lot of them did. Thousands of them did. We only have had 1,400 confirmed victims and something like 600 convictions of men, something like that, 600 Pakistani men, which is why all these Islamists like Hamza Yusuf and Mehdi Hassan, they hide behind the real number and they compare that with white offenders. And they say, it's nothing. It's just a drop in just a drop in the ocean. Yeah, so anyway, so I want to watch this movie. As I said, those scenes are very powerful. It doesn't look like a good, heavy budget production, but I'm sorry, I think the topic is very strong. And I even retweeted and I said, these are the questions that we all want to ask. Because, we've got to be careful with what we're saying. We know there are people who would purposefully, they're just waiting for us to slip up. Look at this. That's the start of the... This is the start of the scene where he goes in to this family house. They've just been exonerated and they're celebrating. And he says, hey, you want to talk to our lawyer? No shame. And then he goes, points the gun and says, okay, let's get in. Let's have a chat. And look at this family sitting down perfectly, nicely. And the kid, the rapist, tries to be a hero. And he says, oh, boom, who are you? Boom. He had to teach him a lesson. Anyway, again, I am not endorsing this behavior. Anyway, so I think German authorities and probably our woke Western politicians are suddenly worried about this particular movie. I don't know why. Nobody was worried about the Kevin Bacon movie or the Hugh Jackman movie or hundreds of other vigilante movies. But for some reason, they're worried about this movie. I wonder why that is. Because I think they might fear that something might happen. I'm not saying it should.